So, what do all of these Bitcoin addresses have in common? They all start with the prefix 3. What makes these addresses so special? Hey everyone, I'm Alex from Bitcoin Briefly, and today we'll be discussing these types of addresses. 3 addresses are commonly called nested SegWit addresses, and they're really popular, accounting for about a third of Bitcoin transactions on a daily basis. In fact, 3 of the top 10 richest Bitcoin addresses are nested SegWit addresses. So, why are they so popular, and what trade offs do they make? They're extremely popular for 2 main reasons. The first reason is fee savings. When sending Bitcoin, these addresses pay much less in mining fees compared to legacy addresses, which start with the 1 prefix. In fact, sending Bitcoin from nested SegWit addresses can save you up to 40% in transaction fees compared to legacy addresses. The second benefit to using nested SegWit addresses is compatibility. As mentioned in our other video about BC1 addresses, there are a handful of wallets and exchanges that still don't support native SegWit addresses. So how do users of those services reduce the mining fees they pay when sending Bitcoin? They do so by using these nested SegWit addresses. What these nested SegWit addresses do is wrap a native pay-to-witness public key hash address inside of a legacy-friendly pay-to-script hash address. This allows users to save on transaction fees while being compatible with legacy-only software. You can think of these nested SegWit addresses like adapters, bridging native SegWit addresses with legacy addresses. So what are their drawbacks? Well, as the middle ground between legacy and native SegWit addresses, nested SegWit addresses aren't really optimized for fee savings. Though you can save up to 40% on transaction fees by using nested SegWit addresses compared to legacy addresses, native SegWit addresses offer up to 80% savings versus legacy addresses. And just like legacy addresses, these nested SegWit addresses are written in mixed case, making them difficult to read, speak, and write accurately. Other cryptocurrencies also make use of addresses that start with a 3 as well, so people mistakenly send Bitcoin to another network and lose it forever. If these trade-offs make sense to you, then you can easily switch over to these nested SegWit addresses. All you need to do is send Bitcoin from your current non-nested SegWit address and send it to a nested SegWit address of yours. Because they're optimizing for compatibility, I'd say it's fair to assume that every wallet and exchange recognizes transactions to and from these nested SegWit addresses. But it's always good practice to double check with your vendor to see, so you can use the links in the description below to check. If you're using a Ledger or Trezor device, we actually have a full blog post in the description that'll guide you step by step on your transition to a nested SegWit address. Now, before we wrap up the video, here are some extra pointers. The first is don't get nested SegWit addresses confused with native SegWit addresses. A nested SegWit address starts with a 3 and is formatted as a pay-to-witness public key hash in a pay-to-script hash. A native SegWit address starts with a BC1 and is formatted as a pay-to-witness public key hash, often called a bech32 address. I know it's complicated jargon, but there's no need to overthink it. Just remember that addresses that start with a 3 are not the same as addresses that start with a BC1. And finally, you might also see nested SegWit addresses, referred to as wrapped SegWit or P2SH wrapped addresses. They're all pretty much interchangeable and describe the 3 prefix address format. So to summarize, the 3 prefix address format is known as a nested SegWit address, and you might often see them referred to as wrapped SegWit, pay-to-witness public key hash and a pay-to-script hash, and P2SH wrapped addresses. They offer a variety of benefits, including fee savings of up to 40%, and compatibility acting as the middle ground between legacy and native SegWit addresses. But these nested SegWit addresses also come with some disadvantages, like not offering the best fee savings compared to native SegWit addresses, and their letters being written in mixed case, so they're not the most user-friendly. To switch, all you need to do is send Bitcoin to a nested SegWit address, but make sure to check whether your wallet or exchange actually supports them. And finally, don't get them confused with native SegWit addresses that start with a BC1. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I also want to hear what you guys want to learn more about, so let me know in the comments below.